What's up, everybody? No Ladich here, coming to you from Springfield, Louisiana, more specifically Springfield Cemetery, and I'm joined once again by my son, my friend Brad, and my friend Todd. We're all out here because there's a mystery to be solved. Come help us solve this mystery. These here you can see right there, 1876 to 1938, and there's 1935. It looks like fairly old. A little ceramic pooch and a plastic frog. This one's kind of hard to see, but you can, if you look closely, you can see the dates on it say 1850 to 1914. That's how long this person has been buried here. In fact, if you look to the left here, this one's even older, 1879. Wow. I like seeing these old tombstones. It looks like they've got a little rust color to them. This one is 1936 was the date that this person was buried here. And over here, this one's kind of hard to see. I can't even read the dates on this one. It's just been worn off over the many years that this person has been here. Looks like this one's been here for quite some time. The brick tomb has decayed down to just a mountain of grass and dirt with, you can see the bricks under there, but surely at one point it was built more kind of like that over there. Can't see any kind of marker or headstone on this at all to see how old it is, but this is definitely, this one's been here for a while. This one here too as well. This one's going down to just a little mountain of bricks. Not much left there. And this particular person here looks like they were in the Confederate Army during the Civil War, died 1895. These people have been here for quite some time now in Springfield Cemetery. There's no markers on these. And this, you can kind of see inside here. And this is a very large marker, dated as early as 1893 and as late as 1912. I like the old wrought iron fence surrounding it. It's very pretty. You can see how old the fence and gate are here as we walk inside this little section. You can see how old some of these are. Here's one that's kind of open at the bottom here, but the marker on it says 1969. This person was in World War II in the U.S. Army, South Dakota. He was a sergeant. This is 1878 is the date on this one. Born 1825, died 1878. And this one, almost too hard to read, but looks like born 1818 and died 1898.
In 1983, a victim of a hit and run, Michael Brown was killed while walking along a street. He was buried right here in Springfield Cemetery, and a headstone erected with his name, birth date, and date of death. However, one day, mysteriously, this drawing appeared on the back side of the headstone. It was a childlike drawing of trees, a road, a car, and some people. But more importantly, there were names. Specifically above one of the people, laying down next to the road, the name Michael Brown appeared above that person, and right next to it was a truck with somebody driving it and the name Wilkerson. The drawing appeared to show the scene of Michael Brown's death and reveal the name of the killer that left the scene.
So the story is that he was killed by a hit-and-run driver, and when he was buried, the mother put the headstone up, and the next day the drawings appeared on the headstone as if his spirit had reached up out of the grave, drew on the headstone to reveal who hit him and killed him.
But they're saying the kid still made the actual drawing.
Well, that's the story. The story is that he reached out of the grave and etched the drawing into his own headstone, revealing his killer. Supposedly, that's him lying on the ground. But what really happened is the mother had ordered the headstone. The company that made the headstone brought it out here, put it up, but had forgotten the drawing because of some mix-up. So they came, they removed the headstone, they etched the drawing in, and they brought it back and placed it there. And therefore, the drawing appeared. And the drawing does not reveal the name of the killer. The drawing apparently was the kid's drawing that the mother just wanted on the headstone. So the story is false, unfortunately. No ghost.
Like, why does he know all the people?
That's a good question. Very good question. I assume that when this kid drew that drawing at home, when he was still alive, those are his friends and people that he knew, family members or friends or whatever. And there's a lot of controversy with this too, because a lot of people that went to the nearby college passed around a story that this story appeared on Unsolved Mysteries, and that caused a lot of problems for the family, because I don't know, a lot of people decided they wanted to come out here and see this for themselves. They believed the story, and so they'd come out here and do seances and sit around with beer bottles and stuff and leave trash. So the family really had a lot of problems with people coming out here and vandalizing this poor kid's grave. So even though we're out here and I'm showing you this, please don't come out here and mess with the grave. If you want to come look at it, just come look, but don't mess with it. The ghost story is not real. Just come take a look, leave it alone, pay your respects, and move on. And walking around, we noticed this other grave here that has a drawing etched into the back of it as well. This pickup truck etched into the back of this person's grave marker. Well, this almost seems to be a tradition here with etching something into the back of headstones. I like this. This person was born to mow. He must have loved cutting his grass. He must have been very proud of his lawn. This is really a very pretty cemetery. It's a lot of trees and green space that goes along with it. It's a nice layout. It's not very big, but it's not super small either. I really love seeing these old graves. This is what I like to come out to these old cemeteries for, because you know that there's a history with these. The people that were here have a history to them. Every individual has a story to their life, and I wish I could have known this person's story. I want to know this person's story. I like how some of these are fenced off and gated off. Just kind of gives a little bit more privacy, I guess, for the families that own these plots of lands. Some of these are pretty old. It's hard to see the date. The dates have all worn off on most of these, but you can see this one here looks like 1861. This person passed away. This one's has the old marker here that says died 1866, but somebody has thankfully brought a new one. And this person served in the Confederate Army as well. Died 1866. This one here is 1916. This one here died 1909. 1909. This is 110 years ago. This person was laid to rest here. This one here is kind of interesting because it's off kind of into the woods here. Curious what all is back here. You can see some barbed wire there that I guess separates the land of the cemetery from maybe the other land that's back here, but looks like somebody's trash has been tossed over here. Some old flowers, old flower pots, and this one lone grave here from 1969. The little ceramic dog. Here's one up here that caught my eye. This particular grave looks like it's in ruins. I'm not entirely sure what that is supposed to be. If it's part of the grave or part of something else that was here. Maybe somebody just stuck up on top of there. Not sure. Pretty interesting though. Here's another one from the Confederate States Army. Died in 1902. There's the CSA marker there. And I like this little obelisk here that's being used as the grave marker. A particular obelisk back there, it looks like it's leaning to the left slightly. Over time probably will fall over. Got a little bit closer and I can see the date of death is 1901 for this particular person, buried right here in Springfield Cemetery. Now here's something a little interesting. You've got an open grave here. Thankfully, nothing on the inside there. It is empty. There's no marker on it saying who at one point might have been buried here, but next to it remains some other old tombs that lay open. This one here is nothing more than a pile of rubble. Once again, no marker on it to see who might have been here at one point in time. But I would venture to guess that these are some of the earliest here. Some of the earliest residents in this particular cemetery right here. And these broken down tombs. So here's one that's pretty interesting. This one has a date of 1889 in loving remembrance. Gone from a world of mortal strife, gone to a world of everlasting life, entered into that glorious nest with God's chosen ones, ever blessed. So here's a grouping of more above the ground tombs here, but none of them have any dates or names on them. There's only the one headstone over there with a date of 1965 for that particular person. I'm not sure about the other three here. Now this is pretty interesting. This one is in remembrance of somebody that served in the Confederate States Navy. This cannon was dedicated in 2006 in honor of Sally Martinez Martin's great-grandfather, Johann Drysdat, for the preservation of the history of Springfield, Louisiana. Johann was born in 1831 in Germany. He stowed away to America, settled in Springfield somewhere in 1850, changed his name to John Threaton, married Lucinda Hall in 1857. They had 11 children, and he supported his family as a carpenter. His patriotism led him to volunteer for the Confederate Army in 1862. He was released from duty in 1864, lived out his life helping others and enjoying the community and its celebrations. During the West Florida Revolution, a cannon was left at the fort in Springfield, and it was ceremoniously fired each July 4th. John attempted to fire the cannon on July 4th of 1887, and it had exploded, killing him instantly. He is buried right here in the cemetery, but his legend lives on. Well, that's going to do it for us from out here in Springfield, Louisiana at the Springfield Cemetery. This is pretty cool. We saw some old graves, some amazing things, and the story of Michael Brown reaching his hand out at the grave to draw on the back of his headstone. That's been debunked. Didn't happen, but it is a cool story to tell anyway. Pretty awesome. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed a little lanyap
From these who that's.
from all of these Hoodats. That's right. Pass a good time.